Hi everybody, it's Terry Ryder from Hotspotting. Some figures out today which tell us a number of things about the real estate market, including the folly of journalists reporting month-to-month statistics on all kinds of things in real estate and other spheres, including prices, retail statistics, the jobless rate, you name it. Quite often it's nothing more than seasonal differences or just statistical aberrations. So the figures out today that I'm referring to in this case refer to residential vacancies in the major cities across Australia. And what it showed is that in January there was a significant drop in vacancies. Now the point is that the month earlier in December there was a significant rise in vacancies, and media made a big deal about that, inferring that it was further evidence that real estate markets were deteriorating around Australia. But of course it was nothing of the sort. It was simply caused by seasonal factors. What happens with residential vacancies in our major cities, they always rise in December and they always fall in January and February. Why is that? Well, because December is the end of the academic year and a lot of university students vacate and go elsewhere, and then in January and February they come back into the rental market, and so residential vacancies drop because of the start of the new academic year. That happens every year. Journalists should know better, but a lot of them don't, or they don't care, so they make a big deal over these monthly figures, which are nothing more than seasonal factors playing out as they do every year. And we get the same thing happening with prices. Month-to-month changes are reported as if they're of enormous significance when usually they're not. The same happens with all kinds of economic statistics, including retail sales, unemployment, you name it. Media loves to make a big deal of changes over short time frames, which are usually insignificant and nothing more than statistical aberrations or seasonal factors playing out. So what's really happening with residential vacancies across Australia? Well, Hobart again has got the tightest rental market of the capital cities. Its residential vacancy rate, according to these figures from SQM Research, is just 0.4%. It's been that low for a long time, and one wonders why property developers aren't rushing to Hobart, which is the hottest market in Australia at the moment, and building lots of new dwellings to take advantage of this opportunity. Canberra, again, has also got very low vacancies, less than 1%. That's been a consistent factor for quite some time. Adelaide and Melbourne overall also have vacancy rates below 2%. And then at the other end of the spectrum, Perth at 4.5% is the highest vacancies, but they are trending downwards as the Perth market starts to recover. Brisbane, it's tending to trend upwards with vacancies of about 3.6%, which is higher than is comfortable for that market. But again, lies, damn lies in statistics. These generalised figures, once again, research companies and media are reporting a single figure to describe a single large city. In the case of Brisbane, for example, a vacancy rate of 3.6% disguises the fact that in the inner city apartment market, vacancies are much higher. And according to SQM Research, the Brisbane CBD has a vacancy rate close to 10%, for example. And that's a factor in all the cities. Sydney's overall vacancy rate is 2.3%. It's still acceptable on those numbers, although it's trending up. But it disguises the fact that there are markets around the very, very big Sydney metropolitan area, particularly suburban apartment markets like the Sydney Olympic Park precinct, for example, where vacancies are much higher, 5 or 6%, for example, with demand falling. So while these figures are interesting, they do disguise all sorts of situations that are playing out in individual markets. But I guess the key point is that what we've seen in these figures is what we see every year. Vacancies rose in December, as you would expect, and now in January they're trending down again. And Hobart has got the tightest market, and Perth has got the weakest in terms of vacancies and rentals. That's all for now. Terry Ryder from hotspotting.com.au. We'll talk to you again soon.